Can a veteran get called back to active duty after being out of the military for 10+ years? That's what my dad kept asking the VA office every week for 3 months after he turned 65. The staff knew him by name because he'd show up with his old service records and paperwork, asking if there was any way he could re-enlist or serve in some capacity. See, my dad served 20 years in the Army, retired as a sergeant major, and never really adjusted to civilian life after leaving the service. He missed the structure, the sense of purpose, the brotherhood that comes with military service. My mom passed away 2 years ago from cancer, and he'd been struggling with severe depression and feeling completely useless without her. His daily routine became calling the recruitment office every morning, visiting the VA in the afternoon, and asking anyone in uniform if they needed an old soldier who still had fight left in him. It was absolutely heartbreaking watching this decorated veteran with 2 Bronze Stars beg to serve his country again when everyone kept telling him he was too old and past his prime. The recruiters were polite but firm about age limits, and I could see my dad's spirit breaking a little more each day. Last Tuesday, I got an urgent call from the VA asking if I could come pick up my dad immediately. I panicked, thinking something terrible had happened or he'd had a medical emergency. When I arrived at the building, I found him in the main lobby surrounded by a group of young veterans, all listening intently as he shared stories about military life, deployment experiences, and transition struggles back to civilian life. Turns out the VA staff had been quietly watching my dad's weekly visits for months and realized something important about his situation. They offered him a volunteer position as a peer counselor for veterans dealing with PTSD, depression, and adjustment issues after leaving military service. His first official day was yesterday morning. When I called to check on him that evening, the program coordinator said my dad had already helped 2 young veterans sign up for mental health services, convinced another guy to enroll in college using his GI benefits, and talked a struggling vet out of giving up entirely. My dad finally found his purpose again, serving his fellow soldiers. Sometimes the military doesn't call you back to active duty, but your brothers in arms always need you to keep fighting.